Hey, good evening, Midwest Survivor. Time for dinner chat. So first off, I want to say thank you to everybody that's checking out the channel, checking out the YouTube post, checking out the TikTok post, the Lemonade post. Please thank you for that. Please continue to do so. Also, check out our community on YouTube, Midwest Survivor 8426. Be sure to click like and subscribe. We need 37 more subscribers to the channel. So that YouTube can actually unlock the live portion of our channel and we can do live stream all the time for longer than 3 minutes. It's very important. Also too, once we hit 50 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. There'll be a first prize, second prize, third prize, and then all 50 subscribers. The first 50 subscribers to the channel, which we've got, I believe, 13 or 14 right now. We need 37 or 36 more. Once we hit 50 subscribers, there'll be a giveaway, and the first 50 subscribers that have subscribed to the channel will win something, but there will be a first prize, second prize, third prize. More details to follow about that. So tonight's dinner chat is why narcissists hate boundaries, and this is a topic that is going to change everything on how you view people and how people view you once you understand it and once you comprehend it, and more importantly, once you start implementing things to establish boundaries. Because here's the thing, boundary is not a bad word. Boundary is not a restrictive word. Boundary is a word that will limit toxic people's access to you, limit abusive people's access to you, give you the ability to stand up for yourself, and more importantly, reclaim energy, resources, time, and your life. So boundaries are very, very good and very, very important things to have. I've had to basically no contact almost everybody in my life except for a very, very important special woman in my life that is my girlfriend, that is the most amazing woman I've ever met, and the people I work with, and everybody else I have just literally separated out of my life because of their forced perceptions of me, their toxicity, their narcissistic tendencies, and more importantly, just the fact that they did not respect my boundaries. So, and yes, you know, it's a very difficult thing. You know, have you ever started to say no, started to stand up for yourself, refused to tolerate disrespect, and suddenly people felt angry, they were very cold towards you, maybe they stopped texting you, stopped calling you, maybe they accused you of being selfish, and you know, maybe they accused you of being the problem. I know that whenever I set boundaries and walked away from everything, people accused me of being crazy, losing my mind, it not being as bad as they felt it was going to be, that I was angry, that I was cold, that I was selfish. And the reality was I had just had enough, and I was tired of being disrespected. I was tired of being emotionally and verbally abused. I was tired of being financially abused. I was tired of being just disrespected on a daily basis and being told that I just needed to suck it up and deal with it, when in reality, no, I didn't have to. So I've experienced this firsthand, and that is the reason why Midwest Survivor, the YouTube channel, exists that it does. That's why I've written 5 books and working on a 6th book, which my 6th book, What Nobody Tells Men About Emotional Abuse, will be coming out here shortly. I have written, I think I'm 12 or 13 chapters in. I've got about 7 or 8 more to go. It's going to be 20 chapters long. I'm going to be releasing some other content along with the book. Along with the YouTube channel, there will also be some resource material for that, for people that are interested in rebuilding their life and learning not just how to survive, but how to thrive and to be healthy and to eventually have a wealthy state of mind. Because wealth is not a bank account, it is a state of mind. So, healthy people may not always like your boundaries. They may not like the lines that you draw or the walls that you put up. But generally, if they are healthy, well-rounded, grounded, positive mindset, believe that the choices that you make are what's best for you, people can generally respect them. But people with strong narcissistic, toxic traits, people that want to control, want to manipulate, want to abuse, want to just have unlimited access and control into other people's lives, they see boundaries as a threat to their control, a threat to their power, and a threat to the resources that they suck from other people on. They see boundaries as a threat to the control, the access, the influence, and the power that they are accustomed to having. So let's look at the why behind it. So the definition of a boundary isn't a wall, and it isn't a punishment, it isn't a revenge. A boundary is simply saying, this is what I'm going to accept. This is what I am not going to accept. This is how I expect to be treated. This is how I expect not to be treated. This is what I will do if this line is crossed. This is what I will do if I'm respected, if I'm treated well. So there is consequences and there are rewards. So I want you to notice something very, very different. A boundary isn't about controlling another person. It's about taking responsibility for your own choices and responses, applying a transparent boundary, and transparent visually, verbally, and emotionally, and more importantly, accepting the responsibility for the people that cross that boundary and disrespect you and treat you the way that you don't want to be treated. So, why boundaries feel threatening? For someone who has relied on controlling, manipulating, being able to pull resources from you, boundaries interrupt their patterns and their lives. So when you stop explaining yourself, that is you taking back control. When you stop arguing with them, that's you setting a boundary. When you stop chasing their approval, that's you taking over. Their influence over you may decrease. And that can be frustrating for someone who expects and demands constant access and compliance. They want you to just comply. They want you to just bend over and just go along with the flow. You just need to go along with it. You don't need to fight, and you don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. Boundaries end the game. It's checkmate for them. It's the proverbial royal flush, or the full house, or four of a kind, or whatever the case may be. The possibility is that they possibly could expect you to defend yourself, maybe feel guilty, maybe apologize, maybe just surrender and give in to them, maybe rescue them, maybe just stay silent. But when you calmly maintain a healthy boundary, the usual pattern completely changes. Now, that doesn't guarantee that they will respond well, and that doesn't mean that they are going to just necessarily leave you alone. They may try to start hammering and testing your boundaries. But what that does mean is that you are no longer participating in their cycle the way that they expected you to. So, some common reactions when you set clear, concise, transparent, responsible boundaries. Now, not everyone responds this way, but in an unhealthy, toxic, narcissistic relationships, you may see reactions just like this. They may respond in anger. Who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? How dare you do this? How dare you do this to me? How do you think this makes me feel? Typical anger, self-reflected towards the person that wants control over you. Guilt, after everything I've done for you, don't you know how this makes me look? Don't you know how I feel? Don't you know that you're hurting me, or you're hurting your dad or your mom, or you're hurting the family? Don't you know that this makes you look bad? Don't you know that this makes me look bad? Guilt. And guilt is always projected but reflected towards the person that wants control. Playing the victim. Well, I guess I'm just a terrible person. I guess I'm just wrong all the time. I guess nobody cares about me. I guess nobody likes me. I guess, just being a professional fall down emotional victim. Basically an emotional ambulance chaser. Smear campaigns. They set up Facebook accounts. They slam you on Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, Snapchat. They may tell others, you've become cold, you're selfish, you've lost your mind, you're unreasonable. They just start commiserating with people they work with, people that they go to church with, people that are related to them, or just complete random strangers in general. The silent treatment. They withdraw affection or communication to pressure you into giving in to what they want you to give into. They start testing your limits. They ignore your boundary to see whether or not you're going to enforce it. These responses don't necessarily mean that someone has a personality disorder. But they are definitely the signs of unhealthy relationship dynamics. And also, too, years of unhealthy relationship dynamics can lead to personality disorders and unhealthy mental patterns. So why do the victims feel guilty? Many survivors were taught that saying no was an unacceptable response. I can honestly say that as a child growing up, there were things that I recognized that weren't right, and I did not feel safe, and I would try to tell my parents that I did not feel safe. And I would say, no, I don't want to do that. And then they would automatically condemn me and scream at me and yell at me and flick me upside the head and say, well, you're part of this family and you're just going to go along with us because it's what we want you to do. Well, no, I did not feel safe. And I felt like situations were wrong and unhealthy. I didn't feel safe around the people. But yet, because it was what my parents wanted and what they couldn't see, I had to go along with it, and it wasn't right. So, saying no is not wrong. Saying no is a safety mechanism and a boundary. Maybe you heard words and phrases like this: you're going to honor the family no matter what. Another one is, good people always help. Well, or another one, well, you just need to go along with it and just trust us. Well, you're just causing trouble. Why don't you just keep your mouth shut and just stay quiet and keep the peace? When you finally set boundaries, you don't just feel fear. You will oftentimes and many times feel guilt. And that guilt doesn't mean that you have done anything wrong. It simply means that you're doing something new that the people that want control of you, that have had control of you, don't understand, or they don't want it because it's you taking back control of your life. So how healthy people respond. Healthy people respond differently. Emotionally healthy people usually respond by saying, I did not realize that this was hurting you. Or, I'm sorry, I will try to do better by you, or do better for you. Or they will be grateful. Thank you for telling me this. I didn't know this. They may not be perfect. And in fact, they will not be perfect. And they are going to make mistakes. but they will generally recognize that your boundaries matter. And more importantly, you may be able to open up dialogue between them and you and discuss how you established your boundaries, how they established their boundaries, and what they found that works. More importantly, what you find that works. And sometimes it can draw healthy people it can help a person that's trying to be healthy to link up with a person that's healthy, and they both become healthier together. Healthy relationships make room for mutual respect, not just one person's needs, but it helps people all over. It helps the person trying to be healthy, and it helps the person that is healthy maybe become healthier. Boundaries protect relationships. Many people believe that boundaries destroy relationships. Often, healthy boundaries often strengthen them. They teach and build respect. Respect for yourself, respect for other people, respect for your property, respect for other people's property. It builds trust. It teaches you to trust other people, and it also teaches other people that you can be trusted. Honesty. You learn how other people are honest, and more importantly, people learn about your honesty. Emotional safety. You provide a sanctitude and a sanctuary of emotional safety in your home, in your mind, and in your daily life. And more importantly, you learn about the emotional safety of other healthy people. Clear expectations. You establish clear expectations, and you witness clear expectations. Clear expectations from other healthy people, and other people see clear expectations from you. Without clear, concise, transparent boundaries, resentment, anger, and mistrust will grow like weeds in a field. So here's some practical ways to set boundaries. And you don't need a long speech. You don't need to yell. You don't need to scream. But you need to be firm, direct, and simple. Phrases like, "No, I'm not comfortable with that," or "No, I'm not comfortable doing that," or simply, "No, thank you." Or another phrase, "No, I'm not talking about that," or "I'm not discussing that." Here's another one, "I need time to think about this, and I will tell you whenever I'm ready to think about this and talk about this or do this. And if I'm not, you will just have to move on." If the conversation here's another one, "If this conversation turns disrespectful, it's over." Or here's another one, "I'm willing to talk whenever we can both speak respectfully, honestly, and transparently without interruption or third-party participation." If you notice, these statements focus on what you will do rather than trying to force someone else to change. And you cannot control their response. You cannot make them do what you want them to do. One of the hardest lessons is this: you are responsible for setting your own healthy boundaries. You are not responsible for how someone else reacts to them or how someone else understands or feels about them. People are going to misunderstand you. People are going to disagree with you. People will become angry with you. But that is their responsibility, their reaction, and they own it, not you. Your responsibility is to act in a way that is responsible and that aligns with your values and protects your peace, your safety, your sanity. So boundaries are not selfish. They are an act of self-respect, self-worth, and self-value. They do not exist to punish people, but they exist to protect your peace, your emotional, your mental, your physical, and your spiritual well-being and health. If someone only likes you whenever you have no boundaries, it is completely worth it to you to ask whether they value you or whether they just simply value the access that they had to you and the access to the resources that you possess. So I want to hear from you tonight on the community. What is one healthy boundary that you have set that has changed your life for the better? I want you to share your comments and share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience can help somebody begin to establish clear, concise, transparent, responsible boundaries in their lives and take that first healthy step towards a healthy relationship, a healthy mindset, and reestablishing control of their lives towards a healthier future that is not just based on survival, but learning to thrive, to be healthy, and to be wealthy. So more importantly, Midwest Survivor, as always, stay healthy, stay strong, be healthy, be strong, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for Breakfast Bits. Have a good evening.